Hi, good evening, and welcome to my daily live sessions on various topics for execution excellence from my toolbox. And today I'll be talking about delegation, or this entire week will be about delegation. So, before I do that, a very brief introduction. My name is Dinakar. I'm the founder of Samutana and the inventor of DoHow, a methodology for achieving challenging goals and amazing outcomes, and while doing so, for acquiring leadership and management skills. Right and left is what you can think of: leadership and management skills, right and left of the brain. So, one is about people doing the right thing, emotional, which is very, very soft area. Systems and doing the thing right is all management about. Something which is rational, hard fact. That's what management systems and leadership. So one side you got systems, which is management. Other side you got leadership, which is soft people doing the right thing. So that's what we do. We get people to acquire the leadership and management skills as we drive the teams to achieve challenging goals and amazing outcomes. So that's my core activity. And to do that, I have a methodology called as DoHow. In case you want to know more about it, please do visit my website. Dinakarmurthy.com is the address. Otherwise, write an email to me. Dinakar@samuthana.com is my email address. So with that very brief introduction, let me directly jump into the topic of the day, which is delegation, or the topic of the week, which is delegation. So today I would be spending on introducing my understanding of delegation, and tomorrow it would be about the topic of talking about the application of delegation, and day after tomorrow it would be about the various negatives or cons as far as the delegation is concerned. And the last would be on Thursday, where I talk about the positives of delegation. And finally, on Friday, I would call each one of you to join me for a live dialogue on delegation in the YouTube or any channel. We got YouTube, then we have got the live streaming going on in LinkedIn and in Facebook. So you can join me for a live dialogue where we talk about delegation and what your experiences are, what is your wisdom which you have gained by delegation. That's the basic agenda. So today let me directly start talking about delegation and my understanding of what delegation is, and what is my wisdom which I have gained is what today's topic would be. So let me first start directly talking about and telling you that delegation is possibly the most important skill of a leader, the most important skill of a manager. One side, delegation is a leadership task because it's about people, and on the other side it's about monitoring, it's about control, which is management. So always, whatever you do in the realm of leadership, management also is part of it. Whatever you do in the realm of management, leadership is also part of it. So both of them go hand in hand. That's why I will always talk about leadership and management skills, and not just leadership or management skills. You need leadership to delegate to people, to inspire them, and you need management to control, to make sure that it is being done correctly. For that, you need management skills. So both are equally necessary. So I've designed this model which you see on the screen. You see a lot of numbers there. Each one has a meaning. So let me explain that as quickly as possible. The first level of delegation is where you see number ones, which is to just get the fellow to do something. It's only to do it. I don't really care. You just go and post the letter and come back. I don't want you to ask me where is it, why is it being posted, who's the what should I say, recipient, and when should it go. No question of that kind. Just go post it and come. Or maybe you just take a knife and put a cut there, cut something there. You don't tell me as to why the vegetable has to be cut, but you just have to cut. That's all. So that is the go for delegation, the lowest level of delegation, which is the level 1 delegation. Level 1 is to post something, to write something. You just write down. In the classrooms, the teacher dictates something. Just write down. Just write down. Don't ask me why, but just write down. That is level 1. And level 1 is to tell. You just go and tell something to somebody. Go, I am going to tell you this. Go tell that to that chap and come back. I had many experiences like this where somebody would send me to tell some thing to somebody else because he didn't want to go and talk to him directly, and I would go there as a messenger and then tell him and come back. That's something which is you don't ask me why. He'll understand that. You just go and tell him. Or you just go fetch something for me. Or maybe you just press the button. That's all. Whenever there is a problem, you just press the button. That is all. Go for delegation, or delegation to just do it. The second level of delegation is to do it, but before doing that, check it out once. Now you use some amount of intelligence where you can check it through your ear, eyes, nose, taste, or feeling with your hands. To check it first before you do it, so that you're delegating also to some extent. Your understanding the person being delegated to is also a human being. He can also understand, has some amount of intelligence. So you just check something and then do it. The first level of delegation is only manpower. That's why if you look at it historically, people said that what is your manpower strength? Because basically everybody did only level 1 delegation. You didn't delegate as human beings. You only delegated them as people with power, with muscle. So only muscle was delegated. Just go lift or run or keep or assemble or disassemble or file or hammer or whatever it is. So level 2 is to check before doing it, and then in case something is wrong, then maybe come back and ask me. But don't just do like that. Don't be an idiot. That is a level 2 delegation. Level 3 delegation is something which is interesting, wherein you collect all the facts, information, and propose how you want to do it. That would be level 3 delegation. Collect all the information and check out what is happening there. Context is extremely important when you're delegating something. Check out that, and then you let me know what to do, how to do, and you can tell me. Then after that, I'll tell you what to do. That is the first level of delegation, wherein you are giving some amount of, what should I say, liberty for the person to understand what is being done, for the person to look at the entire context. Some amount of empowerment is happening there, but it is not really good empowerment. And this is the standard level of empowerment that everybody says, okay, these guys are empowered. They are not really empowered at all. Empowerment means what? That is level 7. I'll come to that. So next level is level 4. Level 4 delegation means you are telling him not only just that, you identify the stakeholders. That's the symbol on the top there. Identify the stakeholders, then their needs and expectations. So you define the target, whatever that needs to be done. Identify the stakeholders, define the targets, define the needs and expectations. Then define also the steps that are needed, and then propose how to do it. How do we go about doing it? So that's one level more, where you are also giving a part of planning activity. It's not just the entire planning activity, but part of it. Level 5 would be to say that, look, you define what tasks need to be done and what kind of method you want to use, and propose how you want to do it. That is the level 5, where you went one level above. Apart from telling what needs to be done, you also tell him you can choose your method, you can do the way you want to do. And also you can plan it out, but again, tell me what you're going to do. Don't just do it on your own. That is a level 5. Level 6 is, now I don't want to really get into what you want to do, how you want to do, and all those things are known to you. But you tell me what is the decision you want to take, and once the decision is taken, it is up to you to do it. I don't want to come into you. But you tell me what decision you want to take. So you delegate the decision making. That is the next level. The last level, which is what empowerment is all about, where you really get some relief, is to delegate what is called as stewardship delegation, where you tell that is what I want it to be done. You keep doing it and tell me whenever you feel it is necessary. Otherwise, you give me some occasional feedback. And there you are telling the chap to decide and execute. There is no question of any getting back. You delegate the decision making and the desired outcome. You only talk about the outcome, and for that outcome you get back to me and then tell me that you have achieved that outcome. For you to achieve the level 7 delegation, it takes a long time, because people have to go through all these steps. Some of them can learn very fast, some of them will take time. But it is important to keep in mind that these 7 steps are the, what should I say, very, very critical. When something didn't work out in delegation, it's basically because you went on to a higher step without the person being able or capable of doing that particular step. So it's important to understand what step you are in, and that's what step the person whom you are delegating is capable of. Accordingly, do the delegation. That is something which is important. The next thing which I want to say, which is the good news, if you are capable of delegating number 7, which means you as a leader have patience, you as a leader have an outstanding clarity and conviction of what the outcome should be. You know what the outcome should be, you are very clear on that. Therefore, you can directly go to level 7. If you are able to do that, then there are 2 things which are very, very important. You listen to that as I end the program live streaming today. The first thing is, you will have unlimited time. There is no problem with time. You'll have free time. You can do whatever you want, because you are in a position to delegate to the right person the right way. That is number 1. Number 2, Not only are you a good delegator, you also would be known as an excellent motivator. Because when you are delegating to somebody, you are also giving them trust. You are also giving them the authority to execute something. But the responsibility will always remain with you. You cannot delegate the responsibility, but you are giving them the power to do something. But if something goes wrong, you are the one who will be held responsible. But you are trusting them that, look, I am going to trust you with my life, with everything, for you to do this job on my behalf. And that is something which is very, very motivating, my dear ladies and gentlemen. And that's what happens if you can delegate well. So delegation is, of course, selfish reason is to really make sure that you are having enough time. You don't have any problem at all with time. In fact, I should be humbled to say that fortunately, whether I learned or didn't learn, I never had any problem with time. Only time which I had the problem with time was when it was really tough time, because the load was like that. It's not because I could not delegate. It was the load, and the amount of external influence was very high. Just to get an idea, this was the year 1998 when I really worked very long hours. I would have put in about 80 hours a week, approximately, every week, week on week. The reason was very simple. We started the year with a particular value as far as our investment budget is concerned, which was running into millions of, hundreds of millions of Deutschmark, which was somewhere around 240 or something like that, million Deutschmark. I was responsible for investment planning and investment budget. 260 million Deutschmark was the total value to be invested that year in 1998. You know what we ended up with that year? So now you understand why I was working for 80 hours a day, 80 hours a week. We ended up that year investing close to 850 million Deutschmark. So you can imagine the planned investment got increased by 3 times, and the value is very high. It's not small value. And you're talking about buying machines. It's not about spending it on some revenue expense. My machine means that to build the machine, and normally it is built after the order is given. So that machine had to be bought, purchased, and got into the factories in the entire world. I'm talking about the global budget, not the local Indian budget. So global budget, close to $1 billion Deutschmark, is what we actually realized in 1 year's time. So I had to write a application to the board to increase the investment budget once in 2 weeks. And that was basically because the volumes were really getting exponentially increased because of the introduction of common rail, which was a wow phenomenon in the market. And so it was really great time to be doing that, because there was a tremendous amount of growth. Our turnover must have increased almost 100% in about a year's time, and investment was very, very high. So that was the only time when I really had to spend 80 hours a week working continuously. Otherwise, I've been able to delegate and have good time for doing whatever I wanted to do. So with that very brief note on the positive side, one is you get more time, free time, and the second is you will be known as a leader who can motivate people, and you are a natural motivator. So with those two positive things, let me end today's live session on delegation. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about the application of delegation. Where all could you apply? Delegation can be applied in all the 4 areas: for current reality, problem solving, stable progress, and mindset and culture. Let me spend time tomorrow on that. Till then, for those of you in India, have a nice evening. For those of you outside India, have a great day ahead, and see you both tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock or 8:30 Indian Standard Time. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.